On this episode of The Back and Forth, we discuss what it looks like when one co-parent is gaslighting another, allegedly. Let's go. Welcome everybody to The Back and Forth. I am Kevin L. Scott, and this is
Chanel R. Fields.
I'm sorry, I didn't know who that was, but okay. Hey everybody. Hey, before we get started, in case you didn't know why you were here, hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you know next time we put a show out there for you co-parents, you blended family parents, you step-parents, you grandparents, single parents, divorcee parents, parents who about to be separated parents, all those different parents out there. We host a show where we deal with things that we take topics and we talk about them because you as co-parents may be going through them. Which leads me to this. Today's episode has to do with children going away for visitation, like spring break or summer vacations or holidays. You send your child away and you expect them to come back in a certain manner. So, Chanel, I will let you go ahead and bring it up. So we will show the people what kind of things co-parents go through, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I finally got my kids back. They had their first summer away with their dad. Allegedly, this is how that went. What in the actual that? Allegedly, she's only taken 3 baths. And apparently, pool time's a real cleaning moment for them. Now, while my 5-year-old says that she only took 3 baths, my older son said that's not true, Madeline. It was 2. Allegedly. He says he had 4 showers, but he didn't have any body wash, so he hasn't cleaned himself with soap since the beginning of June. Allegedly. 1 day was spent working on fractions, but that was only after I berated him for not doing any schoolwork with them, even though they were supposed to go to summer school. I bought a bunch of workbooks, and I bought them chapter books and all kinds of stuff. Nothing. Allegedly. He's laughing it off and says this kind of matting is just from 1 day. I immediately took her to 2 professionals to get a consultation, and they said both that it's weeks and weeks of not combing her hair. She concurs that no one but her combed her hair or did anything with her hair the entire time. Me, texting my ex pissed off about it, he made sure to gaslight them, tell them that of course he brushed her hair, of course he bathed them all the time, and they both said, no, you didn't. And he's like, yes, I did. No, you didn't. Like, you're gonna change their minds. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, Chanel, I will let you tackle this one first, and then I will pick it up on the backside. Allegedly.
Ooh. Allegedly. Okay. All right. Allegedly. Just in case this is a case number 76441. Allegedly. This is a real thing, Ken. This is a real thing because co-parents, listen. When you are doing the exchange, especially if you're a mother and you're exchanging and you're the primary caretaker of your children, when you do the exchange, one thing you can do is provide a checklist for the other co-parent and your children, especially if they can talk. Okay? Thankfully, these kids can talk because this father seems like allegedly that he was a narcissist for real, because this whole gaslighting thing that was coming across allegedly, it sounds like that's probably one of the biggest reasons why they got divorced. And so now he's transferred that same energy onto the children. And so you want to have a checklist. So in case that other co-parent isn't as involved and hands-on with the hygiene and just activities of daily living, we call them ADLs in the nursing field, but the activities of daily living, what it takes to make sure that you're doing good for the day. Now, then your children can have the checklist and check it off. right? Brush my teeth, comb my hair, do those things, or even remind that parent that these things need to be done. Because if you're not primarily taking care of the kids, you wasn't primarily taking care of them when you were with that spouse, or when y'all were together or whatever, you just may not know how to do this stuff. You may not know how to do a little girl's hair, right? May not know that they need baths every day, right? Because as a baby, you're not bathing them every day, unless you're me. But you really typically are not bathing a baby every day, right? You maybe bathe them every other day. But when they get to a certain age, you're bathing them every day because, some stuff starts to smell. So as children, sometimes I don't think that certain parents realize that, they're babies to you, but they still have sweat ducts and glands and all the stuff that needs to be scrubbed and cleaned. So, checklists I have found to be very, very, very helpful, not only in my personal life, but also in the lives of my clients that I coach through these types of situations. However, it is a real thing, and we address these things when we're talking about parenting plans and all of that stuff, because even though it seems minute, Kev, it is so real, to the point of we talk specifically about hair, and including that even in the order, because it can get ugly. It can get very, very ugly. Kev?
I hear you with your little list and checklist and things like that. In a perfect world, that little checklist will be fine. We send the checklist with the child, and the child checks off on everything every day to ensure it's being done. Mm-hmm. But let's face reality. What's the difference, Chanel, between a white lie and a lie? Mm-hmm. There's no difference. A lie is a lie. She said he gaslit. Mm-hmm. Gaslit is another word for embellishing, lying, doing what you got to do to get by, lying to your kids, doing what you got to do, not to be responsible for what needs to be done. So for him to allegedly gaslight, she knew what it was. It was a lie. The children coming back not in the same worse situation they left off in. And when you got to get to the point where you are lying to your children and lying to your co-parent, that means that there is already another issue there in the first place. Absolutely. Which means that you cannot have a productive form of communication with said person if you're the other co-parent. So the list that you brought up, while it might be fine, this is the reason why people get pissed. Parents get pissed when the other co-parent is calling like they're checking up on them. Mm-hmm. Because of this kind of stuff right here. Mm-hmm. So I'm quite sure they have probably a visitation plan that's put in place, some kind of decree put in place where the children have to go visit for the summer. And so by court order, she has to do that. So she's following through on that. But I'm quite sure her level of trust is done.
Oh, yeah.
And so now the communication is going to become an issue, because either she's taking him back to court or she's going to do something trying to show some child neglect going on. And she's going to either say, well, they can't come back over until this gets straightened out, which means now he may be under, what do you call that thing, Chanel, when people come by to visit? Just to ensure, doing the wellness checks, they're doing checks on the kids, just the welfare checks, just to make sure the kids are okay while they're visiting you. So imagine
or
now.
He may supervised visitation.
Yeah. So imagine somebody has to get that done. That's money. Money that we should be spending on our children, but we got to spend it on an adult who's acting like a child. If you're not going to wash, if your children not washing, that means your funky behind not washing either.
Ooh, Kev is fired up, y'all.
I'm just saying, Chanel, there's no excuse for children not washing. We already had a show a long time ago. I don't know if it's 40 or 50 shows ago. Yes, about some people who choose not to wash.
Yes.
A baby gets in the crick of that neck. That little smegma stuff gets in there and it starts smelling a little foul. You get that milk and all that stuff in there, and you open that neck up, you pull that crease back, and whoo. So imagine a child not washing who's able to run outside and play and do everything. Those cracks and crevices are not smelling the best. And you cannot sit there and say as a parent that you don't smell it unless you're used to that smell.
Kev, you better preach.
So Chanel's little checklist can go right in the trash where the rest of the house probably looking like. It's going to be in the trash because nobody's going to be keeping up that checklist. You're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do it. I'll make sure I do it for you. All right, they get there. And your mama in the checklist. I ain't paying attention to that. Mommy says I want to wash my hair on Tuesdays. Your mama ain't here, is she? Now what? Go ahead, Chanel. Look at your face. Go ahead. You better get on somewhere. You gotta get off your tube. That's it. Get out of here, Chanel.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I definitely get what you're saying, Kev, because if you're not even doing it yourself, you're not even looking at the checklist. The checklist is not necessarily the checklist really isn't for the parent. It's nice, it's good to have that accountability and to kind of cover your bases as the other co-parent. But the checklist is really for the kids because generally, whether the kids are with the primary parent or with the visiting parent, usually in the order, it's the other parent that don't have the children can still connect with with those children. So whether it's FaceTime or calls or whatever, they usually have as standard that parent can call them every day if they needed to or felt like it or wanted to or whatever. So the checklist is part 2 is for when that parent calls because now we have an incident that has occurred, right? So now we know this parent can't be trusted, allegedly, and now we got to do our calls at 5 p.m. and say, hey, baby, okay, where's your checklist? What did you do? What did you not do? Right? So subconsciously it's holding that other co-parent accountable, Kev, and also if there's any signs that this child is in distress, you can always do a welfare check. There's no limits on welfare checks. Now, if it's just ridiculous, then they will take care of that. That's not the issue, okay? Mm-hmm. The issue is if there has been some history and all of that stuff, that is substantial to do a welfare check. And if this child seems across the FaceTime to be in distress, then yes, you need that's your child. Right? I don't care if it's with who it's with. If your child is in distress, listen, mama is coming. We gonna get you, baby. So that's one of the reasons why. And then the other thing, Kev, is once people know that you mean business about your kids, they may not wash their tail, but they gonna make sure that tail gets washed because they don't want to either lose their rights and still be paying child support or end up in somebody's jail somewhere. Because as I am a certified reporter here in the state of Georgia, Kev, I actually go out and see and teach parents about being parents, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if there's a little bit of a concern. So one of the things that the kid may not be taken out of that home, but that parent may have to go through several classes to make sure we ain't got to come get your kids.
Yes.
Okay? So because they don't want to be in jeopardy of having a glorified babysitter, because you definitely don't want me coming out there to babysit you. Mm-hmm. They're going to wash that kid's tail. They're going to wash that hair. They're going to find somebody to come wash it. They're going to do what they got to do. Because now you're following up. You're holding them accountable. You're doing the checklist. You're doing all the stuff. Mm-hmm. That was the purpose of me talking about the checklist, to kind of have that in place and then have something to follow up on to see. Yeah, they may not do it like you do it. Y'all, I know y'all in the comments talking about, well, he didn't wash it because I washed it like this and he didn't do it. He ain't gonna wash it like you do it. He may not even bathe them the way you do it. Mm-hmm. He may not use Suave and you use Suave. Or he may use Bath and Body Works and you don't like Bath and Body Works because it goes against your religion. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You can't control all of that stuff. But the point is, make sure that he's using soap and water. Make sure that they got their hygiene. All of this stuff is done. And then we're good. Kev?
So I'm going to end it with this. Allegedly, he did all these things. But let's look at it from another standpoint real quick. Okay. Do you think she knew the kind of person he was in the first place?
Oh, absolutely.
So what I'm saying is, Chanel, we're looking at it from outside. Mm-hmm. But do you think she knew he was a nasty behind person in the first place? And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
sending those kids over there, she basically like feed them to the lions. Like, oh, I know he's gonna go over there. He's not gonna wash them and everything because he didn't wash when we were together. And so, oh my gosh,
Yeah, and
that
that's out of the control. That's
yeah,
out of the control, and that's probably something she probably argued in court. With the parenting plan and all of that stuff. But a lot of times the court's hands are tied until there's actual proof,
yeah.
right? And she was in the home with them, so she's gonna make sure her babies are clean. So there's not gonna be any proof.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't send your children over there if he don't even wash his butt. What you
Right.
expect him to wash the kid's butt? No, they're not going to. Everybody's butt going to be stinking around here. So I'm not going down the road that Chanel would like me to go down because I'm trying to keep this show civil, as I always do. But Chanel, another great topic. Co-parents out there, somebody out there is probably going through the same exact thing right now. And I'm hoping that we have given you something of value to take from this. Hopefully it helps you in your situation. And so, Chanel, with that, as I'm being proper as I usually am, I'm going to tell you all to stay safe and be blessed. And
Keep
Chanel,
keep God first. Keep God first, and hopefully know that He's protecting your kids.
yes,
And there's people out there that can help you.
yes, and there's also things called soap and water. We out, allegedly. We out.